one of the main reasons that people fail at whatever it is that they are trying to pursue in their lives is because they lack laser focus. They're incapable of setting aside everything that's going on in the world and in their lives in order to focus on one singular task. You see, when you have something of value, nothing else should be your priority, because priority is a word that is singular. You can only prioritize one thing at a time, and that should be the task at hand. If you want to succeed, you need to develop laser focus.
And having laser focus, in my opinion, is why you have to cut out the excess in your life. A lot of us have a lot of excess clutter, excess people, excess things that we keep in our life, maybe for comfortability reasons, maybe because it makes us feel more important or like we're doing more or whatnot. But if you're doing a whole bunch of shit work, it doesn't matter how much work you're doing, it's shit at the end of the day. So you could be doing 5 different projects for, or you might have 5 different contracts for 5 different companies. If you're spreading yourself too thin, you're doing shit work. It doesn't matter how many companies that you're in business with. If they don't say, hey, I'm going to come back to you because you did such a good job. They're not going to say that because you're spreading yourself too thin and you're doing a whole bunch of shit work. So what you should do instead, until you get just that good enough or you have a big enough team to where you can be able to handle multiple things at one point in time, you should be able to say, hey, I'm going to have laser focus as opposed to trying to spread myself too thin and handle all these things at once. So we have a lot of excess friends, I'd say, in our life, acquaintances, people that are just there to be there. In order to have laser focus, you need to cut out the excess noise. You can't have laser focus with this person over here telling you some bullshit, this person over here telling you some bullshit, this person behind you telling you some bullshit. You can't have laser focus like that. In order to concentrate, in order to get the best out of your mind state and the best out of your brain's capacity to be able to handle certain things, you need the silence and you need the, tranquility that having just yourself or just smart people around you in a small majority or a small minority in that case. So first, I'd say to cut off the excess people around you, because if you're carrying too much baggage with you in the form of people, it can distract you from being as focused as possible. Then second, I would also say, like I mentioned before, find out what's really important to you and what's not. Whether it's video games, watching sports, or just other things that you realize, I don't need to do this in abundance like I am doing right now. I need to cut that off right now and focus on what I'm doing. Cut that shit off. Now, of course, I'm not saying cut everything off that makes you fucking happy in life. I'm not saying that. However, if it's some things that you realize that you don't need, cut that out of your life so that can help you focus on the things that you know that can improve your life. So whether it comes to excess people, excess things that you're focusing your time on. And then also, I would say have laser focus when it comes to your emotions as well. Now, I know this might sound pretty interesting, but for us, especially in business, you have to be able to detach your emotions from certain things. Because if you're too angry, you're too sad, you're too down in the dumps, depressed about something, too anxious, too frantic, it can cause you to make decisions that aren't good for you in the longevity of your company or longevity of your business or your personal life. So I would say be laser focused on the task at hand and don't let the emotions start to crowd your mind too much to where it makes you make decisions that aren't good for you. And I know it's easier said than done. I've had to work on it myself. But if you have some level of detachment, in my opinion, that allows you to focus on the thing that's most important, and it doesn't the emotions that come into your life, that come into your mind, that come into your heart don't affect you as much and help you stay on path. Because when you bring emotions into things, it's like seeing that heartbeat monitor. You know, it goes up and down, or like stocks goes up and down. But when you're laser focused on something, you take the emotions out of it, you're straight line focused on whatever that thing that you're trying to do. So in my opinion, if you can decide to remove those excess friends that aren't really benefiting you and you're not really benefiting them, remove the excess emotions from what you're doing as well, and then also remove the excess things that you're focusing on. If you can do those three things, you'll be able to have that laser focus, which we're talking about.
And I think one of the main reasons why we can't have that laser focus is because we have a difficulty prioritizing and determining a pecking order of things. We have a difficulty showing. Sorry, this bitch just texted me. Big boss tings. It's crazy. Anyways, as I was saying, one of the reasons we have a difficulty with laser focus is because we encounter an issue with planning out and prioritizing things. We don't know what's more important than the other. And this, in layman's terms, is known as analysis paralysis, because there are so many things on our list and there's so many potential things that we could complete or do or act on that we don't know what's important and what's not. And this is, for example, the job of project managers such as Austin to prioritize tasks and determine timelines for things so that the entirety of the project is completed in a timely manner. Now, the other issue that we have is death by indecision. So we have too many options, yes, so we can't decide, but then we fail to decide and we sit there in obscurity, never actually acting on anything. So the issue is we don't pick one thing to focus on, and then we don't pick is the key. We don't pick anything at all. So essentially what happens is you end up being a bystander in your life, and then nothing happens. Actually, quite the opposite. You regress in your life. While everybody's advancing, everybody's getting promotions, everybody's getting married, getting in better shape, you're aging, you're not losing weight, you're not getting smarter, so everybody's leaving you behind. And when you really take a look at that, that sucks. And not only that, when you're focused, you're actually enjoying the task at hand. And it's statistically proven that generally when you get this sort of laser focus, which is otherwise known as the flow state, it's generally derived from a sense of pleasure. The task itself might not be pleasurable to you, but what you might enjoy is the actual process of being focused. How people say they enjoy the grind, that's an example. That's why a lot of athletes will experience this sort of flow state, and a lot of professional musicians or even academic people will experience these bursts of creative laser focus. And all it comes down to is just prioritizing one thing over everything else, acting on it, as Austin says, shutting out all the noise, and doing what you need to do. And it's frustrating because laser focus isn't something that you immediately get. It's something that you have to build over time, and you'll get better and better. It's a muscle as time progresses, but you have to be patient. There's some things that are very difficult to focus on, and there's also environments that aren't conducive of it. If you've ever tried to study, for example, in a very, very loud cafe or to do a very difficult task, it's not easy. Or if you live in a big family household, trying to do anything without people interrupting you is increasingly difficult. So you have to curate your physical environment. And I feel like I'm repeating everything you were saying because what you were saying was spot on. So
I don't think so. I think you have your elaborate way of going about saying things that's a lot more sophisticated,
just in
a lot
different
more
way.
sophisticated than how I say it, because people hate when I say shit, apparently. I'm just joking because y'all already know that we're just providing you with such great content all the time. But I spoke a little bit about the things in your life that you could basically remove to have laser focus, but here's some things that you can add to have laser focus. Let me see.
See, we got a response.
Here's us not having laser focus, but we are having laser focus.
No, that's not true.
Why? Because you got a laser, and we're laser focused.
Fucking
We just
lasers,
laser
bro.
focus some shit.
Man,
Yeah.
damn.
Anyway, but yes, I spoke a little bit about the things that you should remove from your life to have laser focus. But here are some things that you can add to your life and your regimen to increase your focus and have that laser focus. And really, it all starts with discipline. I say this all the time. The discipline is the foundation. So if you have discipline through these avenues, you can be able to increase that focus that you desire. So first, I would say taking the time out of your life, your daily schedule, monthly schedule, yearly schedule to check in on your health. Visit the fucking doctor. As men, we can get prostate cancer. Women can't get that. We have to go check. We have to go get checked a lot earlier, especially if you have cancer that runs in your family. You have to get checked earlier for these things. And I know we put that off because you don't want to get tested for that because the test is a little interesting. But I understand, as a man, I understand, but you have to put your health first. Because how the fuck can you have laser focus if you aren't able to focus on shit because your health is in horrible conditions? You're in the hospital. You're having heart palpitations. You don't know why. You can't fucking walk right and you don't know why. Your fucking head's always hurting. You're having double vision or something like that and you don't know why. You can't have laser focus unless you prioritize your health and consistently go in, get checked for certain things, get checked for any cavities when it comes to teeth or something like that, because a small thing can turn into big things. Get checked for, again, cancer, things of that nature, just any, things that just come up that aren't necessarily normal. Go get those checked. You can't focus if you have bad health. Second, I would say prioritize working out. If you want to have laser focus, you have to not only get your body right when it comes to getting checkups and health, but you also can do this by putting yourself through a difficult workout regimen and sticking to it. Because if you can do that, that increases your discipline in a different manner. Because naturally you would think that your discipline would increase by doing things that stimulate nothing but your mind, like reading or math or things of that nature. Yes, that helps. But if you're able to put your physical body through immense fucking pain and struggle, it actually has a lot to do with your mental as well in order for you to get through it. Like you can think of David Goggins. Like he runs long distances and he doesn't listen to music. Music is something that helps people get through shit and, it helps them feel all right and whatnot. He doesn't do any of that. Why? Because even though his body is the one necessarily doing most of the work, his mind is pushing his body to keep going even when he feels that pain. So if you improve that discipline through your mind, through working out, it will help you have laser focus because you're training your body to deal with shit and to deal with immense pain and still be, locked in and still do what you need to do. That helps tremendously. And I think that's helped us a lot actually, because now we can go through things and realize that no matter how much it sucks, no matter how much shit we're going through, it's just a small period of pain for, a lifetime of success and triumph that we get in the long run. And then lastly, having a partner. Now this can be in the sense of having a spouse, having a wife, having a husband, or having a brother, having a sister to go through shit with. Of course, now this person has to have their head on straight, but if you have someone that you can lean on for certain things, I don't want to say an accountability partner because that sounds kind of fucking stupid, but someone like that you can lean on when things get tough or when you're going through something, you're going through it together, that helps you be able to have laser focus, because especially if you're going through it together, you see them working through the same things. It makes you want to do the same things, if not better, which kind of, laser focuses in on whatever the fuck that you're trying to do. So having a partner, having someone that you can go through life with is very, very important. And especially if you're a young guy or young girl or whatnot, and I'd say you're in your mid-20s, getting to your 30s, Of course, you can live that single life all you want, but I believe, in my opinion, that you can do so much better if you have a spouse, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or what have you, that you can go through these types of times with you, especially if you're trying to make something out of yourself, because it forces you to do better, not only for yourself, but for the person that you care for and love so much. So those three things, in prioritizing your health, working out, and also having a partner to go through this shit with, in my opinion, is some things that you can add to your life to improve your laser focus or just focus in general.
All this makes me think of the fad of monk mode. And on that tangent, monk mode's cool and all. You're going to have people, though, who are going to criticize you for what you decide to do. People are going to call you a loser. They're going to be like, hey, why don't you respond to our text messages? Why don't you hang out with us anymore? Why don't you go to the club? Why don't you do the degenerate hedonistic bullshit that we partake in? And you're going to feel ostracized. And being real here, laser focus is fun only because you're doing something that you enjoy or you're working towards something that is required. Maybe you're just the type of person you literally could be mopping floors and be laser focused, because that's what you have to do to pay the fucking bills. Who cares what other people think, and who cares what is on other people's agendas? Because their opinions are not going to pay your bills. Their opinions are not going to feed you, your women, your children. Their opinions do not matter in 80 years from now when we're all gone. Their opinions never meant anything in the first place. So why are you giving them value? Focus on the things that you need to focus on. Laser focus on the laser that's going to focus, and you will magnify the power of that laser. And what's crazy is that lasers are extremely powerful. They can cut through steel. Mm-hmm. And imagine if you could amplify the strength of your focus by focusing. It's literally an exponential reaction. Why would you not set yourself up for success in all realms of human endeavor by cultivating the capacity to both not give a fuck about anything that anybody says and focus on what you prioritize, so long as it's good for the human population? The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out. Mic check.
The AM Club Podcast.